Chapter 1. Who are you to yourself? Have you ever caught yourself feeling like nothing you do is ever enough? Not good enough, not fast enough, not important enough, like you're always chasing some invisible bar that just rises a few inches every time you get close. You get tired, you try, you manage as best you can, but still that faint voice inside whispers, I'm not enough. And every time you scroll through someone else's curated life, neat, beautiful, polished, you shrink a little because it feels like someone else is doing it all better than you. But here's the paradox. You're not your own enemy, but you're not your ally either. You're the one who should be on your side. And yet, more often than not, you criticize instead of support. Instead of saying, hey, you're doing great, you're trying, you're holding on, you go, you could have done better, you should have done more, you're late, again. You're not alone in this, really. That voice lives in millions of heads. We live in a world where self-worth has stopped being a feeling and turned into a scoreboard. Likes, reactions, job titles, external validation. We compare our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. We've stopped seeing ourselves, stopped listening. But here's something you might have forgotten. You have the right to be kind to yourself. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to meet anyone's expectations because you are you, and that's already enough. You don't yell at your friend when they're going through a rough time, right? You don't shout, you should have handled that better. More likely, you offer a hug. You sit with them in silence. You stay close. So why can't you do that for yourself? Maybe it's time for a change, time to at least try being your own friend, not your judge, not your critic, but someone who accepts, understands, doesn't demand, because the point of life isn't to become someone. It's to not lose yourself. So let's start here. No blame, no anger, no comparisons, just step by step from where you are, from who you are. Chapter 2. A world of shop windows and mirages. We live among shop windows, among other people's roles, masks, carefully curated fragments of someone else's life put on display. The world says, look, this is how it's supposed to be. And we look. We swallow those images like we're starving, believing that this is what success looks like, that this is happiness. Someone sits on a balcony by the sea, coffee cup in hand, captioning the moment dream morning, and suddenly your own morning, rushed, messy, with coffee stains on your shirt, feels like a failure. You know, in theory, that it's just a fragment, that behind the frame there could be pain, anxiety, loneliness, but still the thought slips in, I'm not enough. Something's wrong with me. And everything you once liked about yourself starts to dim, as if you're a rough draft, and everyone else is the final cut of life. We start collecting other people's dreams, their goals, their blueprints. We want to look like them, not because it's our path, but because we're scared of ending up with nothing. We cram our inner emptiness with whatever's at hand, when once that space could have been filled with something real, with ourselves. We become copies of copies, and the further we go, the more we forget who we truly are. But behind the glitter, behind the likes and the filters, the polished bios and the numbers, something's missing. You are missing. Meaning is missing. The kind that resonates inside. Because meaning doesn't come from the outside. It's born in stillness, in silence, in those rare moments when you stop running. It's quiet. It doesn't need a filter. It doesn't beg for approval. And this is where it's time to pause, to breathe, to look inward, not at what you want others to see, but at what makes something flutter inside you, what stirs you, even if it doesn't look like success, even if it won't go viral, even if it doesn't inspire envy, only peace. Maybe you've always wanted to paint, but thought it was silly. Maybe you've always wanted to help others, but buried that under career hustle. Or maybe deep down you just want some silence, a life without the constant sense that someone's grading you. Well, it's in these maybes that the return to yourself begins, not through comparison, but through feeling, not through images, but through presence. Don't look to the shop windows for direction. They lie. Look to what's alive inside you. That's where truth lives. That's your soil. That's meaning, the kind you won't lose. Chapter 3. Who you are. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you felt that you were okay? Just because you exist. Not because you accomplished something, proved something, achieved a goal. Just because. No conditions. No, once I get better. Once I lose the weight. Once I buy that thing. Once I make enough money. None of those endless if-onlys. But you're not a checklist of goals, metrics, and deadlines. You're a living, breathing person with your shadows, doubts, cracking voices, the mess inside you, and that wild tenderness you so rarely let yourself feel. You are a complex, vulnerable, beautiful being, and you don't have to earn your right to exist. Not today, not ever. Aren't you tired of living in permanent self-audit mode? That constant state of others made it. Why haven't I? It's like living under a magnifying glass, like dragging around a relentless inner critic, shouting from every corner, not good enough. Even if you've done so much, even if you survived the worst, held on where others might have fallen apart, still somehow you feel you should have done better. Now, imagine looking at yourself from the outside, not with judgment, not with disappointment, but the way you'd look at a friend, someone you've known from the very beginning, with all their falls, their tears, their hopes, their mistakes. You saw them walk through darkness. You saw them try. You saw their fear, their faith. Would you really look them in the eyes and say you're a failure? Or would you reach out and whisper, you did your best. I'm here with you. You can say that to yourself. You don't need to wait for someone else to validate your worth. It was never in their hands. It's always been in you. Maybe you just forgot. Maybe you've gotten used to thinking you have to earn it, that your value depends on outcomes, but self-love has no KPI. The soul doesn't write performance reports. Life doesn't follow a script. You already deserve kindness simply because you're alive, because you feel, because you're real. And if the world keeps screaming at you to be better, prettier, smarter, more productive, you have every right to rebel, to stand against that absurdity, against the race, against the idea that being human means constant upgrades. You don't need to become version 2.0. You can just be you. And sometimes that's the bravest and truest thing you can be. Chapter 4. Other people's windows, other people's lives, other people's dreams. Have you noticed how easy it is to lose yourself in someone else's life? In their successes, their smiles, their perfectly filtered content, all looking like it came straight out of a glossy magazine. It's as if the whole world is a storefront window, and you're just a passerby, staring in from the outside. We scroll through feeds like they're a gospel of other people's victories. He bought a house. She went to Iceland. They got married. Those ones launched a business. Someone else woke up with flawless skin, hit the gym at 5 a.m., and posted a story captioned, "Living my best life." And here you are, in socks, phone in hand, with a weird emptiness stirring inside. And then it hits. That awful thought. What's wrong with me? Why doesn't my life look like that? Why don't I have photos like that? Why doesn't my everyday feel like a celebration? It's a trap, an old, sneaky, sticky trap, whispering that you're behind, that you're not enough, that you need to hustle, change, rush, catch up in this imaginary race you didn't even know you were in. But you're not a picture. You're not supposed to be. Life isn't content. Life is your quiet morning coffee, the kind no one sees. It's your sleepless nights and the late night talks with yourself when you're your own therapist. It's you trying to figure out what you want, while it seems like everyone else already has their answers. It's the unseen things, the real things. You're not falling behind. You're just walking your own route, and your map doesn't have someone else's pins on it. Their path isn't your path. Their values aren't your values. Their happiness isn't your compass. But stare at the windows long enough and you forget why you even stepped outside. You forget where you were going, you forget who you are, and you start following someone else's route, chasing someone else's goals, only to wonder why it feels so empty, why the wins don't bring joy. It's because it wasn't yours, not the goal, not the journey, not the joy. You have the right to turn around, to step off the path, to erase the map and start again, not for the perfect picture, but for honesty with yourself. You have the right to say no to someone else's expectations, to stop being convenient, polished, optimized for Instagram. You have the right to be real, to be your own, to be human. Don't measure yourself with someone else's ruler. You have your own scale, your own depth, your own rhythm. And that's where your strength lives. Chapter 5. The Inner Executioner in the Close of Care. He doesn't always yell. More often he whispers, quietly, steadily, with a voice so familiar it almost sounds like your own, only there's no warmth in it. He demands, accuses, judges. He doesn't support. He monitors, making sure you never let your guard down. It's the voice that says you could have done more. Everyone else is already achieving something, and you messed it up again. Sure, go ahead and rest, as if you've earned it. At first, he seems helpful, like he's pushing you, keeping you from slipping. But the truth is, that's not motivation. It's a form of self-punishment, a system of inner captivity. On the outside, you might be free, but inside, a prison. And you're both the guard and the prisoner. That voice didn't come from nowhere. It was shaped from things parents once said, from passing comments on the news, from schoolyard comparisons, from your feed, where everyone looks driven and deeply fulfilled. It collected quotes over decades and now wears them like a judge's robe. And the scariest part? You believe him, because he speaks from within, not like an enemy, more like someone who cares. I just want you to be better, he whispers, but you don't become better. You become tired, drained, indebted to yourself. When you try to rest, he protests. When you're happy, he reminds you it's too soon to celebrate. When you achieve something, he shrugs. It's not real success. The real stuff is still out there. So you keep chasing, and you don't even know what for, because it will never be enough. But you know what's truly powerful? You have the right to turn him off. Not argue, not persuade. Just say, you're not needed anymore. Because you're not a project, not a self-improvement plan. You are a person, tired, real, alive. And if you've ever felt how heavy it is to live under that internal watchtower, know this, you're not alone. So many people walk through life with a whip at their back, smiling politely at the world, while inside there's a fear that they're getting it all wrong, that they're not trying hard enough, that they're not worthy of love until they become some better version of themselves. But real freedom begins when you give yourself permission to be imperfect, not a hero, not the best, just yourself as you are, with everything that's unfinished, with everything that hurts. And maybe that's the first real step toward coming home, to yourself, to the place where you don't have to be anyone but you. No justifications, no race, no self-torture. Chapter 6. You are a one of a kind. How many years have you spent trying to earn someone's approval? First it was your parents, then your teachers, then your friends, then likes, then success, then the attention of exes, then potential partners, then your boss, your coworkers, strangers on the internet, neighbors, classmates whose names you can't even remember. The list goes on, and one day you wake up and realize your entire life has been one long effort to fit into someone else's gallery of expectations. You've become a collection of facades, a character playing roles just to hear you're doing great. But here's the question. Who are you without all that? Without the fight for validation? Without the performance of success? Without the constant, look, I'm not living in vain. What's left when you strip all those layers away? What do you find beneath the armor? The answer's terrifying because it's honest. What's left is you, the real you, vulnerable, imperfect, sometimes lost, sometimes broken, sometimes forgotten, even by yourself, but real. And that's where freedom begins. When you stop being someone's pride, someone's hope, someone's role model, and start being yourself without applause, without drama, without the hashtagged posts. You don't have to be an inspiration. You don't have to be productive. You don't have to be successful 24/7. You don't owe anyone anything except one thing, to be honest with yourself. That might be the only thing that truly matters. If you're tired today, don't pull yourself together. Sit down. If you're scared, don't be brave. Just be with that fear. If you don't want to chase that imaginary version of success anymore, stop. Your worth is not measured by checklists, accomplishments, trophies, or how busy you are. You are worthy simply because you exist. Every day, the world tries to sell you an illusion. Become better, and then you'll be loved. But love that needs to be earned isn't love. It's a contract, and you deserve the real thing. Even if today you're at rock bottom, even if you don't know which way to go, even if you stop believing in yourself, no one can walk the path for you. But you can choose to stop dragging around someone else's maps and someone else's destinations. Your road begins not with triumphs, but with a quiet, honest look inward. Who am I? What do I need? What am I feeling? And most of all, with permission to simply be. Chapter 7. Get the fuck off your own back. You've done enough. You've been through enough. You've gotten your share of experience. And you know what? That's in the past now. It's over. Let it go. Stop. Stop invalidating what you feel. Stop comparing yourself to perfect snapshots from other people's lives. Stop living with that goddamn voice in your head that keeps chanting, "You're not trying hard enough. You're not good enough. You should do more. You should go faster. You should be like everyone else, or better." Get the fuck off your own back. Yes, that, exactly that. And believe me, it's the best advice I could possibly give you. Get the fuck off your own back. No shame, no apologies, no sugarcoating to make it sound softer. Number, you need to hear it raw, honest and liberating. Get the fuck off your own back. Stop tearing yourself apart for not living an Instagram perfect life. Stop measuring yourself by someone else's dreams. Stop chasing someone else's standards. Stop feeling ashamed of your exhaustion, your sadness, your imperfections. You're a human being, not a machine. You're not some KPI system. Stop asking, "What have I achieved?" Stop repeating, "Why isn't my life like theirs?" Stop ripping yourself to pieces trying to keep up. Stop acting like some harsh judge at your own trial. You weren't born to be flawless. You were born to be real. You are the only person who will be with you from start to finish. No like, no compliment, no award will sit with you when it's quiet and you're alone, but you will. Always. In the beginning, it's you. In the end, it's you. So respect yourself. Support yourself. Be your most loyal ally. Be your own best friend. Love yourself, not because you did something remarkable, but because you exist. That's enough. Give yourself permission to just be, with all the cracks, the fears, the doubts. Let yourself be human. Let yourself pause, breathe, and hear what's really going on inside. Let yourself choose yourself. You're not an accident. You're not a result. You're a one-of-a-kind story, a process, a current, a mystery, a miracle. So get the fuck off your own back and start living, not for validation, but for yourself, not for the image, but for the breath, not for the glory, but for the freedom. Hear me. Get the fuck off your own back, live your best life, and be happy.